We are the partners of Solarian Games. I'm Jason,
Peter.
and we got some cool stories for you tonight. All right, what do we got here? I'm leaning out of the camera is what I'm doing. We have an online dice roller that actually rolls real dice in some guy's garage. Ken Whitman is at it again. Dungeons and Cabins. Love this one. The time of the drop has come. First dungeon crawl. I can't say it. Crawl, and now D&D Beyond. You have to rent what you own. Let's see. Battle Sticks is a. Oh, I love this one. Battle Sticks is a game about cool sticks you find outside. And Pathfinder wants you to go to hell.
Yes, they do.
All right. All right. Let's start off with a really fun one. This was in one of the tabletop gaming subreddits that I frequent. A fella popped in and said, "Hey, I made an online dice roller. Big deal. But it's in my garage and it really rolls the dice. So this thing is so cool."
It's cool. I went to this. Actually went to the site and tried it. It was neat.
You rolled some dice?
Yeah, that's where I got this first picture right here.
Oh, yes.
Just because this is where it starts. This is how you set it up. But go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, you come in, you set it up, and it looks when you first get to the page like, oh, just a dice roller, no big deal, right? But then when you press begin, all right. Do you have another picture there? All right. When you press begin, now it switches over to this picture of a barkeep in a tavern, and in the center of that is a little circle. And in that circle, when you press roll the dice, it really rolls dice, and it plays a video of the die actually rolling.
Yeah.
And you can verify it, so you can actually validate it. So like, I guess if you were playing with one of your players online and they said I got a 6, you'd say, well, let me check the logs because you're a big cheater. So let's find out if you're cheating or not. I wasn't cheating because this screenshot, I rolled a 1.
No,
Of course I
nice.
did.
Right.
Well, here, let me give a little statement from the creator that he put on Reddit. He said, "I don't trust digital dice rollers. I can't see the RNG, so it always feels off." That's random number generator. Which we'll talk about this, but there is no such thing as random numbers in most computing.
No.
It always feels off, so I built a dumb little thing that rolls real dice in my garage and sends you back the photo and video as proof. So anybody wants to try this out, it's icanroll.com, ICANROLL.com, which great URL that he got.
I have to disagree with him. He said I made this dumb little thing. It's not dumb. It's very
Right.
cool.
It's very cool. It's very cool. At least he didn't say, I was bored, so I did this. I hate when people do that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, no, you weren't bored. You were having fun. You were doing something creative.
Right.
Own it. It's cool what you did.
Yeah.
So he says it's free, solo project in my free time, so bear with me. Right now, he's only got a D20 and a D6 wired up. He's
Oh,
gonna
that's why I
add.
can only pick the two. Okay.
He hasn't built the hardware for the rest of the dice yet. And actually, I think, do we have a picture of the actual mechanisms? Here we
Yeah,
go.
look at this.
It's so cool.
And you know where I work, we build prototypes and stuff. This is
Yeah.
exactly like when we built our first prototype. This is the kind of shit we build.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah, it's
beautiful.
great.
Yeah. He's got a sensor pointing down at the actual cup with a light. Presumably, it looks like he's got a little LED light on the board. And when you go on and press roll the dice, it shakes the cup up and gets you an actual random number. And here's why I want to get into actual random numbers, right? So when you go in and try to get a random number on a computer, what it's really doing is a very, very, very complex algorithm to look random. Something that might be functionally random, as in it's good enough for whatever purpose you're using it, but you wouldn't want to use it for something like, say, the lottery, where you had $1 billion or whatever on the line that relied on it being absolutely random. Story time. When I was like 12 years old or something, playing around with a computer for the first time, a little Apple II Plus, like you can see right behind me there. There is a command in AppleSoft Basic, and I think it's in pretty much every Basic, which is just RND, random number. You put RND, you put the number, the seed that you're going to use for it in parentheses, and then it kicks back a random number. And so little kid, Jason, does this and says, "Great, I'm going to make a dice roller. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a D&D dice roller." So I sat down and I wrote a basic program to roll dice for D&D, and I started using it, and I started thinking, I don't know if this is if this is really that random. So I then, age 12, decided the thing to do is to make a VisiCalc spreadsheet of all my rolls.
Right.
So
Because when you're 12, you have time to do that.
yes,
Right.
exactly, exactly. Or if you have a job that's boring enough. So, so I rolled the real dice, and then I rolled the ones that I'd made in my program, and I wrote them all down in a notebook because you can't switch back and forth between programs in an Apple II. And once I had them all written down in my notebook, I went in, loaded up VisiCalc, put them all in there, plotted the randomness, and lo and behold, the Apple II was giving me predictable random numbers. So now, it's 40 years on, or whatever time it is, and computers are a lot more sophisticated. If you did that, it would look more random. But at the heart of it all, unless you've got a computer that, I don't know, has some sort of quantum function in it, it's still the only kind of thing it can do is pseudo random. And there's what do you call it, cryptography keys out there that require actual random numbers. So they have all these different ways of doing it, which always rely on some sort of natural phenomenon as the seed, because that's the only way you're going to get true randomness, is if you let nature get involved.
Yeah,
So,
like maybe they'll have some kind of sensor that senses the wind speed and the temperature at the time, and then that gives you some number that they base it off of, or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Other little transgression tangent here. You know how there were play-by-mail games that were very popular in the 1960s and 70s, and probably 80s. If you're playing a play-by-mail game with somebody that has dice rolls involved, what do you do? Because you can't just say, "Yep, I rolled an 8," and then write a letter to the other person saying, "I rolled an 8 this week." How do they know
Right.
you actually rolled an 8? So one story that I heard was that a certain group of wargamers came up with a plan where they said, to roll the dice, they had a pre-selected stocks in the stock market. And they said, we're going to look on a given day, and whatever the third digit in the value of the stock is, that's what you rolled.
Ah, okay.
So,
Right. Yeah.
because then you can verify it.
You can't get much more random than that.
Yeah, that's properly.
Anyone who could predict the stock market would be a bazillionaire,
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Mike Pickett says that is next level nerding out. And by the way, Mike, in the chat, congratulations on. I won't say your big news to the world, but if you can tell it to people. But congratulations! I saw your big personal news, and it looked like a great thing. So way to go, man.
Hey, just a little thing. I'm pretty sure that is actually a piece of lab equipment.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah.
that
'cause,
we're looking at, that white cylinder that the dice goes in.
I think so, because we were a couple of weeks ago. We were checking out this piece of equipment, and it's a lab equipment for testing DNA type stuff. And there's this little cup like thing that you could stick a test tube in. So you got some stuff in your test tube, and you want to shake it up. You stick it in there, and when you press it against the side of the cup, it vibrates really hard. So I think that's what that is. I think the person has
That
taken
makes
one of
sense.
those. And they just sends a signal to it to activate it, because it's just all you need is an IO switch, right? Like an on off.
Yeah.
And then it would and you can get those. A lot of computer chips have those, and that's basically just a machine language thing for on off, and
Right.
that's all you would need for this.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he just calls it a shake can, and in the Reddit chat, the creator was saying that it's actuated by a solenoid underneath the platform.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And Scott Congable says about randomness, they have shown that combinations of digits can be random, but individual digits do follow a pattern. So
Okay.
Scott would know the details of that better as the CEO of an actual computer company. So
Yeah. Right.
we'll take Scott's word on that one.
Yeah. I guess so.
All right. So anyways, it's a really cool thing. Just wanted to kick this show off with this really neat project. And you can go to icanroll.com and play with it.
Yeah.
And he's
All
still
right.
developing. He's going to do more stuff. So
Well, I should hope so.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I'd love to see it.
Love it.
All right, this guy is back.
Oh my gosh.
He just won't go away.
I just want to call out right off the bat, what we're looking at on the screen is a completely AI generated photo as far as we know, and or at least AI manipulated to death.
Yes.
And a bunch of crap in the background. So,
it definitely has that look. Like it definitely looks like what you're seeing all over the place.
I don't think that I am slandering anybody if I say that I've seen him on video recently and he don't look that good. So personal opinion, right? That's not slander. It's personal opinion.
It's not slander. Anyway, so oh my God. So there's this company called Four Pillar Games and or new website.
Let's just give the very short one sentence. Who is Ken Whitman? Ken Whitman is a serial Kickstarter creator who has verifiably not fulfilled a lot of them, and an awful lot of people have very negative opinions about him for their opinion that he's a charlatan.
Right.
So.
If you want, you can look up the whole pencil dice thing, and that you'll learn everything you need to know.
Yeah, I'm making no factual statements about him. I'm simply repeating what people say online.
That is correct. So yeah, Ken Whitman is part of. He's not the only one. He's part of a thing called Four Pillar Games. There's a website.
Are you sure he's part of it, not the whole thing?
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm going by the article that I read.
Okay.
Well, he may be the whole thing now. I know for a fact that there were two other people because they quit.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I should stop stepping on your toes. Why don't you read your story?
Yeah, there was at least three. All right. Anyway, so this website presents itself as an archive celebrating influential tabletop creators, companies, and magazines. What could be more awesome than that, right? Someone dedicating a website to all these wonderful people.
Cool.
Almost immediately after launch, it triggered massive backlash across the RPG industry because nearly everything on it was seemed to be AI generated.
Yep.
The complaints are unauthorized AI generated biographies of real designers, and we'll get into why we know they're AI generated portraits using creators' likenesses without permission, trademark logos and product imagery used without approval. We know that's a big no-no.
Yep.
Numerous factual errors. Errors.
There's an ironic blooper for you.
Invented credits, which AI is so good at doing.
Oh, yeah.
Wrong dates and misleading implications. Automated responses when creators requested removals. So they had the AI answering questions. Oh my God. Anyway, so a lot of designers.
You're absolutely right. I made up a bunch of facts about you. I won't do anything about it.
Right? A lot of designers describe the whole thing as disrespectful, exploitative, and potentially damaging to the historical record of tabletop gaming.
Yes.
And see, it's important because
it's that last one that really matters.
Yeah, that's the one that really matters because if information gets out there, and especially since AI is not going away, so helping feed it its own information, so it's wrong and it creates this loop. And that's one of the big fears, right? That there'll be all this AI generated information out in the world that is wrong, and then AI is reading that information, and it's just going to snowball into a point where you won't be able to trust anything, right?
That's right.
So anyway, so the site has this isn't just, again, like we're saying, this is not just an AI art is bad thing. It's positioned itself as a historical archive and an authority source. Game historians Shannon Appelkline, author of
Shannon Appelkline.
Okay.
Yes. Friend of Solarian. We love Shannon.
Yeah. Designers and Dragons publicly criticized the project and warned that AI-generated historical summaries can quietly spread information into Wikipedia. Huge part of this came from the portraits themselves. Here's some funny ones. Okay, so Fred Hicks from Evil Hat Games publicly called out his portrait, saying, "Haven't looked this young in 20 years. Them fate dice are jank, yo." Also pointing out that the site used trademark imagery and branding without permission. Grant Howitt of Honey Heist wondered why the AI felt the need to generate a fake photo when real ones exist, asking, why not use one of those instead of asking a computer to gin one? Okay, gin one up.
Or gin one up.
With a couple
you
dozen
made a
extra
regular photo, but you had to go and gin one up.
That's an old term I've never heard. Chris Bissett of Tunnels and Trolls took a much more direct approach, warning, if you make AI slop images of me and I meet you in person, I'm going to hit you full force in the throat.
Oh, go, Chris.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
shit.
Chris. This
And the
is
last,
all right. Where's the GoFundMe for Chris to do this?
right. And then the last one, last comment here was Cam Banks called the entire project colossally God, I can't talk tonight. Colossally lazy and insulting.
Yes. Yes.
So as you know, as we said, Whitman has a bunch of questionable endeavors in the past. Things like Pencil Dice, live action Knights of the Dinner Table project, and a bunch of other unfinished Kickstarter ventures.
Yes, yes. I mean, this all kind of started out many years ago when nobody had heard of Ken Whitman yet, and he came to Jolly Blackburn and said, "I would like to make a movie about Knights at the Dinner Table." At least I think it was his idea. Maybe it was. I don't know whose idea it was, but the point was,
he does all this movie stuff. Like he tries to credit himself as a movie maker as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, look, that's his passion. He loves movies. No hate for that. And so he said, "I'm going to make a movie," and Jolly believed him because he seemed legit at the time. And I won't go into the whole story of it, but basically it all went to crap and the movie was never finished and he never delivered anything other than a few rushes to Jolly and left everybody, just upset. And it made Jolly look bad. I mean, Jolly did nothing wrong, but you know what I'm saying.
Right.
So the point is that was kind of the origin story of this guy. And then he starts popping up everywhere, just being a chancer, constantly trying to do something. He's one of these people that wants to jump straight to the top,
Right.
and so he's always trying some other scheme.
Yep.
And now it's become like a joke, and somehow he seems to be the only one who's not in on the joke.
Yep. Yep. Brian says if you search him on AI, even AI throws him under the bus.
That's good. I'm assuming that I didn't have the stomach to look through the whole site. I'm assuming he's got his own legendary profile on there as well.
I'm sure.
He must.
Some critics have called the rewritten histories wit-washing.
That's funny. That's good.
Oh, wait a minute. It says, especially after errors were found, even in biographies of his own past companies.
Well, there you go. So he does have himself up there, of course.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's made a website where he's going to say, like, look at me. I'm going to tell you the history of the game industry. And isn't it interesting that I'm right in the middle of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, between this guy and, oh gosh, I forget I'm not going to bother trying to remember the guy's name, but whoever the guy is that did the Giant Lands thing, let's not even think of it. Well, I don't care what his name is. Who's constantly calling himself like, I was the narrative designer. I invented narrative. These people are always making up these grandiose stories about themselves. Why don't you just make a game or a product that people want to play?
Yeah.
Why don't you just do that instead?
I hear you, man.
There's nothing cool about being at the top of the tabletop game industry. That's like being the skinniest kid at fat camp. Come on, it's just you're not that. This is not glamorous. This is just people playing games. Stop trying to be cool, man.
Right. Now, here's where we get into the other two guys. And
all right, I've never heard either of these names.
Neither have I. But if you get,
do we know they're real?
Yeah, but if you get in business with this guy by now, and you're like, oh, I didn't know. I'm just kind of like, didn't you? You didn't know, really? But anyway.
I accept that some people may not know things because they don't take the time to Google a person's name, but this is a good warning to anybody. Before you get involved with someone, and I've failed this test before. Before you get involved, before you get involved with somebody, Google their name. Make sure that you're not getting involved with somebody shady.
Yeah, I won't say any names, but there are two people that I can think of at the moment that we were going to work with. And fortunately, we took too long to get involved with them. We took too long to take them up on it. And we were like, oh, dodged that bullet.
Right, because who knows if Googling would have done anything in a couple of these cases, but eventually it did. And then we knew. Don't go there.
God, I'm glad we drug our feet on that. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Don Perrin and Tony Lee rapidly distanced themselves from the project and resigned. Both reportedly claimed the final site was not what had been agreed upon, and they had not approved of the AI generated direction. Yeah, so his Facebook presence disappeared. Storefront elements began vanishing. Parts of the site were scrubbed or modified. And this is like within hours of launch. Public criticism continued, escalating across Blue Sky, Facebook, forums, and gaming news outlets.
This thing is red meat. But you know what? What you're about to say kind of shows a bit of brilliance, because everybody picked on this and said, this is red meat. I'm going to write about it and talk about it. Even we're talking about it.
Yep.
And so here comes the big reveal.
Yeah. Some commentators believe the site may have been an SEO play designed to dominate search results using huge volumes of AI generated tabletop metadata.
Yep. I think that's exactly what this is. I think the whole thing here is an SEO bait. Now, I don't know if that's going to work, because everybody online who's a little bit left of shady is trying to do crap like this.
Right.
It's very easy to put up a website and let your LLM go nuts writing 100,000 words. It's
Right.
Just click a few buttons, right?
Yeah.
So you got to assume that all the search engines, whether it's Google or one of the AIs, is accounting for that. I hope they're accounting for that.
Yeah. Yep. I hope
don't
so.
know. I don't know. But I just, like I said, I don't get it. Even if you are legitimate, hardworking, and making a lot of great stuff in the tabletop gaming industry, your chances of hitting success in the sense of being able to work doing it for a living are already pretty low.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think that I don't know what you want to call this, it really makes any sense. It just
Who
doesn't.
knows?
And it's just so damn ugly. I mean, just even if you look at the picture behind them, they've all got that piss filter on them. Like there's this, I don't know which diffusion model out there is doing this, but somebody's making all these AI images with some diffusion model, and they always come out with that weird yellow tint. People call it the piss filter.
It's like this kind of semi-gritty, like really high contrast, but with like a yellow tint.
Yeah.
Like it's old, but it's new, but it's
Yeah,
crummy,
I've read people say that it has something to do with when diffusion models start dealing with too much recursion, like they're basically training themselves on themselves, that it tends to lead to this urinated sepia tone. I don't know if that's true. I don't know how it works, but whatever. He's got the piss filter on all this stuff. So it's bad enough that you're using AI to generate everything on your site, but you're not even taking any time to put the tiniest bit of effort into it.
right.
No effort.
Well, that's
Somebody just like get this guy a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever it is, and just a hobby and something to just go be happy somewhere else, man. Just go find somewhere to be happy. This ain't it.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's go into something more fun. Enough of this guy.
Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, this is great. Dungeons and Cabins. All right, so I'm really happy to see this, and it's not the only thing like it in the world, but I'm going to start with the whole "I had this idea" kind of thing. But ideas are floating in the ether, and they're there for everybody to grab. And a lot of times, a lot of people get the same idea. So I had this idea about 5 years ago. I said, wouldn't it be great if we could have like a game convention, but it's a summer camp out at an actual camp, right? Because I loved going to summer camp when I was a kid. I love all that kind of stuff. It would be so neat to do that for adults. We played around with it a little bit. I think we were going to call it Camp Roller-Crit. And I got some pricing on it and stuff. And we didn't go too much further with it because it was just way beyond our ability to pull off in a quick and easy manner. So I'm really happy to see that people who are better at executing on something like this have done it. Now, there's a few of these around the country. This isn't the only one in the world. I don't think it's the first one. But it's the one that looks the most well put together to me, and the one that if I was picking one to go to, I think this is the one I would want to do. And I love the name, Dungeons and Cabins. All right. So, Dungeons and Cabins, I'm going to read what they say about it. Imagine a place where work emails don't exist and potato sack races do, where you can team up with 35 of your closest guild members to adopt a manticore, then vanquish a god over the course of a weekend, and late nights in the tavern lead to bittersweet tears at closing ceremonies. That's Dungeons and Cabins. It's a D&D summer camp for adults in Southern California where what you do at camp affects what happens in the game. So, I mean, I don't know exactly how it all works, but I see pictures of people doing a lot of camp type activities, which again, I thought the same thing. So, what's it called? Convergent evolution. It's just a good idea. So,
Right.
I see people doing archery and swinging from things you swing from and building friendship bracelets and just all the fun camp stuff, right? And somehow this adds up to what happens in your D&D game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. The sessions feature a weekend long multi-table campaign run by professional dungeon masters. Uh, Classic summer camp activities, mini painting, themed party and party events. There are temperature controlled cabins and communal spaces. They have on-site chefs. And just, yeah, you've got a great picture on here that kind of shows the overview of what happens. So they start with opening ceremony, just like camp, right? You're not at camp without the opening ceremony, which, by the way, everything should have opening and closing ceremonies. Life is, humans create ceremony because it gives us a sense of belonging and structure, and it really does help us.
So should we do that at ModCon? Should we have a little opening ceremony when people come in?
Let's do it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, it can be super, super,
It can be
super
quick,
simple.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a really good pun in the chat. I'm just gonna have to put it in here. Is this a pray the Fae away camp? That's good. That's good. Yeah, maybe your cleric can do that. Yeah, we should totally do that. They say that even in your daily routine, if you talk to people who are not efficiency experts, what do you call it? Productivity experts, right? That a good way to be more productive in your personal day is to have sort of a startup ritual and a shutdown ritual for your day. Like every morning I get up and I meditate, or every morning I brush my teeth. It doesn't matter what it is. And every night I kind of know that I'm shutting down like this. And you can do that in your work, and you can do it at events. It's nice. So they have opening and closing ceremonies, Dungeons and Dragons, of course, camp activities. They have one thing called short rests. Cute. Surprises. Don't know what they are because they're a surprise, but the people in the picture look very happy about the surprise.
Yeah.
And tavern nights. It just looks so fun. I want to do this. I want to do this so much. So and they've got, this is impressive. They have 3 summer sessions, and they've already sold out of one of them. They're actually doing 3 camps. So there's one at the end of August, one at the beginning of September, and one at the end of September. So I want to go. I don't know when. I can't take the time to go back to California and do all that stuff, but boy, does that look fun.
Well, I mean, like you said, I'm almost 100% positive there's one on the East Coast.
There are, and you know what? I did not check the price on this, so maybe it's crazy pricey. Who knows? Because one of the ones on the East Coast that I looked at, I think it was like $1,000 for the whole week because, you're getting your place to stay, you're getting your food.
Not terrible.
Oh yeah, this one's $1,200 also.
That's
yeah,
honestly, dude. Because we were just booked a trip to Grand Canyon, right? Mm-hmm. We're staying in an Airbnb now. Mind you, this is a big house because a bunch of us going. There's going to be like 7 of us there.
Yeah.
But for 3 nights, $1,000 or $2,000 for 3 nights.
Yeah, I mean it's true. A vacation costs money.
But when we compared that to hotel prices, I was like, it's almost the same price as a hotel, but we all get to hang out.
Yeah.
Because we didn't like the idea of like, oh, you spend your day together, whatever, and then, go back to your hotel and then you don't see each other until the morning. This way, it's like a family. You can hang out and watch movies together. If you want to go to your room, go to your room.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I mean, I'm thinking about the cost of a convention where just the cost of the badge. I'm not thinking about all the other things like your hotel and your food and all that stuff. So if you go to Gen Con, you're going to spend if you get your own hotel room, you're going to spend at least $1,500 just on
yeah.
the hotel room.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm going out to GaleCon again this year in Ireland, and the plane ticket right now is looking like it's going to make this a $3,000 vacation. So,
Wow.
but hopefully that'll change. But nonetheless, yeah. So you know what, $1,200 for the weekend because they're feeding you, and they say they're going to have great chefs, and they've got nice places to stay out in the woods. Yeah, you know what? If this is your vacation for the year, then it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it looks great. All right, let's
All
let's go.
right.
Let's move on.
All right. This is next story is so yeah. So this doesn't really have anything to do with Dungeon Crawler Carl, but
Oh, it does.
It matches up with the what does it? I mean,
Oh
exactly.
yeah. Okay. Full disclosure. What we do before we do this show is Peter and I go and we find our stories, and then we split them up. Who's going to read which one? I found this story and I assigned it to Peter because I was like, well, I've got too many stories otherwise. So
What
Peter, if you want,
I did read through it. What did I miss here? Because I think it's a D&D Beyond
well, it's
story.
both. So basically, here's
Okay.
the deal. So both Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's so hard to say that. It's another reason I hate the books. Both Dungeon Crawler Carl and D&D Beyond are now doing this thing they're calling digital drops.
Mhm.
And those digital drops add up to essentially renting content. So I mostly the story's got the D&D Beyond stuff in there, but just to give you the quick kind of overview here of the DCC thing. Dungeon Crawler Carl is also doing these things called a season pass, and with it you get content drops every month that include bosses and classes and pre-gens and stuff like that. So that's their digital drop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but this does mainly focus on what Wizards doing, right? Because
Right, right. This article was just saying that it's starting to show up, and we hope the industry doesn't adopt this.
yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Well, let me tell the story first, and I'll give my opinion on it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
anyway, so yes. So there's a new way for hero. There's hero tier and master tier subscribers get to play ready content on D&D Beyond every single week. Now, when you get this, it's not like if you didn't have it this week, you missed out on the past weeks. They open it up to everything. So when you join, much like our Patreon is,
Yeah, like a Patreon.
when you join, you get everything that's there. If you want, you could literally wait an entire year, pay $10 at least for ours, and then just get everything that we put out the whole year.
I don't think they work that way. We do.
Well, I think he was saying it was saying here that it says every week we'll release pre-made encounters. Hold on a minute. Anyone with an active subscription can access all content in the D&D Beyond Drop subscription libraries, no matter when they start their subscription.
Really?
So no more missing out on a subscriber perk if you weren't subscribed that month. That's what I'm getting at. So
Okay.
another important note is that the content in Drops functions like other subscription content, meaning it is not eligible for Master TR content sharing.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
That's a bunch of crap.
I was reading it. I thought I did. And I'm like, wait, what does that mean? But anyway, also, like we said, every week, but then every month they'll be working with game designers and artists to add more game content like player options, maps, monsters, reveals, and more. So I know it's like, oh my God, I got to pay to get this stuff. But at the same time, they're putting out a lot of stuff for people that they can just get too. So it's not all negative. It's good and bad, right?
No, it's fine. I mean, people wouldn't pay for it if there wasn't something decent in it.
Mm-hmm. But it is a worrying direction because I'll tell you, I have a PlayStation and an Xbox, and I barely play them because one, I don't have a whole lot of time, but on the other end of it is every time I open a game, it's like, oh, well, we got a new DLC, but it's going to cost $25 to get it. I'm just like, why do I have to keep paying for this game? I bought this game. Why do I have to keep paying for it? Remember, one of the games I bought, they released it and it had almost nothing. And they said, oh, well, you'll get all this content on the first DLC. And I'm like, cool, because I didn't understand DLCs yet.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
they're just going to send me this thing, and I'm going to get it. It's going to be awesome. And no, you had to buy it. And I was like, I already paid $50 for this game. Why do I have to buy the game again?
Yeah.
So
no,
I'm hoping it doesn't go that direction.
It will go that direction, because if we cast our minds back, I don't know how far back we have to go, but to some time in the past, you buy something, you own something.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You know, I go buy a book, I own the book, I put it on my shelf, I read the book later. I go buy a video game, I own the video game, you know, because it was all physical distribution. So there's no way to change that. If I put a cartridge into my Atari 2600, that's just a thing.
Right.
And then we got to the internet, and the predictable thing happened, which is, well, hold on a second, I can distribute things online, which means that I can update them. And at the beginning, that was kind of nice. If I ship a piece of software, I can actually fix the bugs in it later if they got through. Because before this, we used to do a thing when we would put out software, we would put it out on CD-ROMs. And so the process of releasing the software ready for the public was called going gold, because the CD-ROM, the master CD-ROM, was gold colored. So you would master to the gold CD-ROM, and then they would make all the others. And so it was great. Now, instead of having to go gold and not be able to fix anything and ship people a whole nother CD, you could just do the update over the internet. Everything's fine and wonderful. And then somebody said, what if they had to pay for it? What if instead of charging people $800 for a copy of Photoshop and they buy it once, if we charge them $30 a month forever? That's going to add up to $800 really fast, and nobody's going to feel the pain. They're going to be like, oh, it's $30. And so it's finally, everybody else finally started looking at it and going, you know what? It's better as a business to have a predictable income every month than it is to count on these big sale moments. So it's way better for Wizards of the Coast to say we're going to collect $10 a month from every player than it is to say we are going to put out $50 or $80 books and hope that they buy them when they come out.
I mean, look, we said it before with Patreon, right? I mean, you and I are we kind of have a little model like that. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but, you know, we have our Patreon. I put out stuff every month for it. And, you know, if you pay for the month, then you get all the stuff that we put out, and it's extra stuff. So it's kind of like this in a way.
Yep. I will be fair and say that is kind of like it. I will be more fair. I don't know. What I would say is the difference is if you're doing something like what we do and what other TTRPG publishers do with the Patreon is we're providing a service. Mm-hmm. And you pay money every month and you get this service, which is the service is getting early access to things, maybe having a chance to influence the direction of other things.
Yep.
But what we're not doing is we're not saying if you want to own this book, you don't really own it. You're subscribing to the book. And when you stop paying us for it, the book goes away.
Oh yeah, that is different because our stuff is all downloadable stuff. When you get it, it's yours. You have it forever. It's all
right. And what's happening with these digital drops is you have the digital drop for as long as you pay for the subscription. It's kind of like Audible. If you use Audible for audiobooks, you're like, what a good deal. I get an audiobook every month. I'm paying $20 a month and I'm getting an audiobook every month. Yeah, $20 for an audiobook sounds fair. But then you find out that if you cancel your subscription, your audiobooks are gone.
Yeah, you don't own them.
Owned those.
You're renting them.
And I saw somebody on Reddit the other day, I don't know what country they were in. I don't think it was the United States, but they said that with their Audible subscription, they'd bought all these books. They had a library of books they'd bought, and they went back to listen to a book they had purchased a year ago, and suddenly it had ads in it.
Oh, I've never had ads. Oh, God, they better not be putting ads in our books now.
I don't know what the deal was, but can you imagine? I mean, that's what happens when you don't own what you buy, is that the people who created it can go back and change it anytime they want. I mean, even cars are getting that way now. You know, you can buy a Tesla and then you can pay extra money to unlock more features, which were all there the whole time. All you're doing is...
what?
Yes. For example, you can actually buy a Tesla that has, I don't know the numbers. Let's say it has 400 horsepower. And then you say, I would like more horsepower. So you pay an extra fee and they do an over the air update to unlock extra horsepower.
I
And then
don't like.
presumably they could take it away.
Okay, I'm a big fan of like advancement and stuff like that, and I don't generally have a really hard opinion on like hating on new technology and stuff, unless I just make it garbage. But that whole concept, I hate that concept. I hate that concept, and I want to be God of the world so that I can make that go away.
Yes. Well, I mean, this is the thing. When people talk about new technology, the dumbest mistake everybody makes, the dumbest mistake that is made when it is made, not everybody makes this mistake, but the dumbest mistake people make when talking about new technology is acting as though the fact that something's new makes it better.
Oh God, no.
Or the fact that it's new makes it worse.
Well, that's not true either.
You have plenty of people who are just like, I don't like the new stuff. I like the way it used to be. And other people are like, oh, you just don't like progress. Both are false.
Right.
Everything has to be judged on how good it is.
Yeah.
If you put out a new piece of technology, it may be better. It usually is. I usually prefer the new thing, but it may suck eggs. And you got to be able to say this sucks eggs and not have somebody come along and call you a Luddite for it.
Right. Yeah.
And this sucks eggs. I don't want to have all of the D&D content locked behind a subscription where, I play D&D with my friends. I pay $20 a month to do it because I'll lose access to all of my spells if I don't.
Right. I'm definitely don't like the where videos have gone, like movies.
Videos? No,
yeah,
movies.
Like movies. Like there are movies you can't watch now because if you don't own the DVD, nobody carries it, so you have no access to it. They're like,
or worse,
taken off the market.
You can't see the original. Like, try to watch Star Wars.
Right. Like the 1977 release.
Yeah.
Not these modified things.
There's like a dozen versions of Star Wars out there because they keep going back and George Lucas is like, well, I want to make this look a little better. Or, I don't think Han should have shot first or whatever change, he feels like making. Fine, George, that's your movie. Go ahead. Release another version if you want to. But it gets to the point where you can't even watch the original one without pirating it.
Oh, yeah.
So
I did not know this. They must have been pressured to do this. But Simon Harding says Audible allows you to continue to access books already in your library. So,
actually, no, he's right. Because I did cancel my Audible subscription. I still had access to it.
All right.
I was thinking of Adobe Stock, where I'm paying. I pay for the rights to pictures because we use Adobe Stock as the basis for some of our photo bashing and some of our books. So, I pay for the license to use them. But if I haven't downloaded it and I stop paying, then I lose that. So. Right.
Well, good on Audible. That's a good move.
But I will say what Audible does do is if you have unused credits and you cancel your subscription without using them, I don't know. I think they take those away, but maybe I'm wrong. I should stop saying
they will expire if you get too many of them. So you will lose them. You got to usually lose. Oh yeah, I do know that.
Jeez, that sucks. I got to cancel my Audible subscription.
So anyway,
this is good. I don't know the joke, but it looks good.
Isn't there a joke about George Lucas's kids?
You can read it out loud. We're on the Run a podcast.
Isn't there a joke about George Lucas's kids finding CGI things added to their family trip videos? Oh my God.
That's
I don't
great.
know, but that would be awesome.
That's a good joke. Like you go on the family vacation. Like, wasn't it great, kids? When did the dinosaur attack?
Right. Yeah. It was interesting when he redid all the Star Wars stuff. I thought I would really like all these added things he put in. I didn't like any of them, and I especially hated the Greedo getting a shot off because people say Han, they're always like Han shot first. I'm like, no, he didn't. Greedo never shot. Han just shot him. He couldn't shoot because Han killed him, and but then George switched it up because he's like, well, that makes Han a bad guy. I was like, no, just makes him an anti-hero, which was great. That's why we loved him.
Yeah. No, it just. I have the 1977 version. A bunch of fans got together and managed to collect all the sources to make a perfect 1977 version in
Oh, that's
perfect
awesome.
high def. I have a copy of that. But I'm going way off track here. The point is, Wizards is trying to make you rent D&D. I don't want to do that.
Right. That was the whole point. We bought the book and play the game. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's move on to the next one.
This is a great one. I have only discovered as of this week this online community known as Stick Nation. All right, so before I get into the game that we're seeing on the screen right now, which is called Battle Sticks, I got to tell you what Stick Nation is. I missed out on this. No idea how. Because Stick Nation's been covered by NPR, they've been covered in the New York Times, they've been covered all over the place. Started out just about 3 or 4 years ago as one of those silly things that somebody does, right? Because everybody loves to find a cool stick.
Yeah.
You're walking outside, you find a cool stick, it's a universal experience. And so somebody started an Instagram called Official Stick Reviews and would just put up pictures of cool sticks they found. And then people started sending them pictures of their cool sticks. And after a while, it snowballed. This Instagram now has 3.3 million followers.
Oh my God.
And amongst its followers include some celebrity fans of it who have sent their own sticks in, like Lin-Manuel Miranda and Dermot Mulroney have actually found cool sticks and gone, look at my cool stick.
Oh wow.
They call themselves stickheads.
Of course they do.
Yep, they've found sticks shaped like hands, like snakes, like slingshots, wizard staffs, curved canes. They've got some great puns like the Log Ness Monster,
Right.
right? One of the guys who started the Instagram was like, we should make a game out of this. And he did. So here on the screen we have right now, they had people send in videos of their favorite sticks. And they made them into mystical powered sticks in this game. So like,
awesome.
we got the one on the screen right now, this guy from France who found a stick that was somehow stuck in a log, and it looks kind of like a hammer because of it. It's this big thing. He's like, look at my cool. So they made it the hammer of golden wood.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know,
That's awesome.
some of the sticks that I saw in the video, one person had found a stick. This was in the middle of winter that a piece of ice had frozen onto the end of it and kind of looked like an axe head. So it was the ice axe stick.
Oh, that's cool.
Another person had found a stick that was in, I don't really know where it was. It was some sort of, looked like a pond. It must have been in some geologic situation because the stick had become encrusted with crystals.
Oh wow.
It was somewhere that, like this pink looking pond, and I guess stuff, if you leave it in there long enough, it gets encrusted. So they had, this magical crystal thing. We have a picture up here right now of, this is Boone Hogg. That's his real name. Boone Hogg, like Boss Hogg from the Dukes of Hazzard. And he's one of the guys who started the Instagram. And he's holding up a cool stick that he found. And he has his dog Mochi, who is the branch manager.
Best pun ever.
The branch manager at the Official Stick Reviews. And in the video, Mochi totally was not going to stick around for the video. He like ran out before I could even get a screenshot.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Draco is my branch manager here.
Yeah. So Draco could help you play this game.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, it's really cool. I absolutely want to play this thing. It's raised about $75,000 on Kickstarter so far. I'm kind of surprised it isn't even bigger with all the people that follow the Instagram. But what this game is, it's a card game, and it's a kind of Magic the Gathering ish, right?
Yeah.
It's not trying to be hardcore like that. They said it takes about 15 to 25 minutes to play the game. So for quick rounds, it's one of those beer and pretzel games, I guess we like to call these things. It's designed for 2 to 5 players. And it is strategic. So the gameplay kind of goes, at the beginning, you draw sticks from the forest floor. So you take all the stick cards, you put them face down, and you spread them around, and it creates this, just big melange of cards on your tabletop, and you call it the forest floor.
Okay.
And then you draw your stick cards, and then you go through a round of modifying them. So there's modifier cards as well as stick cards. And during the gameplay, you can sabotage the other players. There's action cards you can use to mess with their sticks. And then there's a battle round where your stick fights the other stick, and it goes around until you get to the final showdown and the end of it all. And you actually have this little area of you have your stash where you can keep all your stuff. It looks fast and fun. The artwork is great. They made it very clear this is all real artwork. There's no AI involved because sadly you have to tell people these days. But their artist is so good, completely captured the spirit of this. And my understanding is that all the sticks that we see in the Battle Sticks deck come from real sticks that people sent in to real stick reviews,
That's cool.
official stick reviews,
Official stick reviews.
official stick reviews. And I just want to say that I like this thing here. He says, "What makes a good stick?" So the two founders of this, Hog and Juggler, said they do not consider themselves stick gatekeepers. Yeah, here they are. There's the two guys on there. They look like fun dudes. They look very nice. I think they're in Utah or something, wherever that cool.
That's Nevada, Utah, or something like that. Yeah.
Somewhere out west. They're in a beautiful spot out west, holding their sticks in the air. And it says, they do not consider themselves stick gatekeepers. We try and not be like an art gallery for sticks. We just want to share sticks.
Right. Nice.
So it's just one of those wholesome, fun. I don't know anybody on the planet who doesn't like a cool stick.
Right.
Who you mean the ultimate uniter? It's the Dolly Parton of toys. It's stick.
Yeah.
What wasn't stick like considered the greatest toy in the world by some museum or something?
I don't know, but it works for me. I played with sticks when I was a kid all the time.
I have to look this up. I think I'm not going to find it fast enough, but I think it was.
I used to make my own bows. Like I'd get string from the garage, and I'd go find a stretchy piece of, a bendy piece of wood, and I'd make a crappy old bow, and I'd make my own little arrows and stuff. And it was fun. I don't think I would have killed anything with it, but it was fun to make my own bows and shoot my own arrows.
Yeah. All right, I found it. So the Strong Museum of Play, which is kind of the definitive museum for play and toys and everything else. It's where one of the best D&D collections in the world is. They have in the National Toy Hall of Fame, there's a few toys that have been inducted, and they have one that is just called Stick. And it is literally just a stick inducted in the year 2008. And it's just basically saying this is, one of the greatest toys of all time, the stick you find on the ground.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, love it.
All right. Well, next up, Pathfinder wants you to go to hell. So
last up.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
apparently, I wasn't aware of this, but there's been a long campaign, and I think it's even a merchandise campaign of making multiple projects, products along this project, are going to hell and fighting with demons and devils.
Yeah, I mean that's been a cool thing you can do for a long time. Everybody loves.
Oh
to do
yeah!
that.
Oh my God! Who doesn't love that picture of the paladin in hell from
A
the
paladin
Player's
in hell, and they even made a whole module out of it. Yeah.
Handbook? Yeah. We did that adventure, not that exact one, but something very similar to it when we were kids. It was awesome. Anyway, so Paizo has officially released the Free Hell's Destiny Player's Guide. It's the PDF, obviously. That's why it's free. Marking the next major chapter in Pathfinder's ongoing Hellfire Crisis storyline. So I had to look this up, and because I'm not familiar with it. There's this whole Hellfire Crisis thing that's going on, and it's a company-wide content spanning storyline meta plot for the second edition of Pathfinder. And it revolves around the outbreak of a massive bloody war between the infernal diabolic empire of Chilix and the freedom-loving nation of Andoran. And
Sure. It's a made-up word. Say it however you want.
I do like that because this is quite literally a good versus evil story. Like,
Yeah.
It's easy to follow, probably easy to play. Hey, look, those are the bad guys. No questions about it. They're demons.
Yeah.
Can't get much better than that.
Yeah, I mean it's right up there with killing zombies.
Right. And it serves as a direct follow-up to their Hellbreakers adventure path, shifting the narrative's focus to a different front of the broader conflict brewing across Golarion. Good name. It's almost like Solarian, but it's Golarion.
Golarion.
Right. let's see. I think I'm having the picture in here. Yeah. So a big part of this is they
What
want to
is
tell this
up with
big
that logo? Like, why is it? Why is the logo like a gradiated rainbow of hell?
I don't know. It looks like if I ate a bunch of Skittles and then threw up.
Yeah, I think they're trying to do a thing because on the far left of the logo it's red, on the far right it's green. Maybe what they're trying to do is show that there's like the infernal hell on the left and good
Green
loving
Earth.
the good loving Chilaxians or whatever on the other side. But
Right.
I gotta stop. I get it. Paizo and I do not agree on what makes good design. That's just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
Right.
That's fine. That's fine.
So the adventure drops players into, here's another one, Corentin.
I love that you're
Chilaxi-
getting the story with all the hard to pronounce
I
words.
know, God. A Chilaxian port city controlling the narrow strait between the inner sea and the Arcadian Ocean. Why does that sound so like familiar? You've
Oh,
got a
controlling the narrow
straight. Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I mean, well,
Right?
all right.
And they had to have
Obviously,
written this before that happened.
yeah, because this you can't write something like this quickly. Obviously they've been working on this for a couple of years at least.
Mhm.
But and you know what? It is a classic military consideration is looking for choke points. I mean,
Yeah.
just go watch the movie 300.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is an older military strategy in the world than creating a choke point.
Right.
Which,
And
of course, is why Pete Hegseth couldn't have thought of it because he's got no military strategy in his little tiny brain.
so what the funny thing is this event that's going on now is the third event that has disrupted what I'm developing for the Patreon because I'm really trying to stay away from hot button issues.
No, I know.
I wait for it to cool down and then I'll write about it later. Anyway, but
Yeah.
one of the adventures I was going to put together, one of the books I was going to put together, and I probably still will after all this shit cools down, was there was going to be a terrorist group that would attack every choke point, every major choke point in the world, like the Panama Canal.
Yep.
The Strait of Hormuz was on my list. So
Sure. I mean, it's obvious.
What is it? The gates, the old school one.
Are you talking about the Strait of Gibraltar?
Strait of Gibraltar, right.
Yep.
There was going to be a terrorist group that would attack every one of those points, and the idea was
The Bosphorus.
for you guys to, the agents to stop them from doing that because it was
Mhm.
basically going to shut the world down. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm not.
I guess sometimes we have to be careful with the top secret missions that we create because we could probably have some great ideas for terrorists.
Yeah, we could.
We got to stop giving them all the good ideas. I've checked our customer base. I didn't see anybody, in a terrorist training camp listed there, but we have to check.
I did do something that was a little topical, but it's my own, sideline version of it, and we'll talk about it after this.
Well, this is why we're working on a world book that is going to take the top secret game out of current events because you don't want people at the table arguing about that.
Right. That's exactly. Anyway, so there are a bunch of character options, mechanics that they've added specifically for this setting so that everything plays out that, a little more seamlessly than
Sure.
trying to force players into certain roles. So they got this Anti-Thune Saboteur who specializes in the dirty tricks skill feat, and then this Defiant Noble who utilizes courtly graces to leverage the chaos for family legacy. So it's basically like creating, building the setting in with the characters that you're going to make. And it's also not like a beginner thing. I mean, when you start your characters, you start at 10th level.
Okay.
All
right.
You're fighting bad stuff.
Yeah. That gets me wondering sometimes about fantasy role-playing in general. A lot of people will just want to start at 5th level or 10th level or whatever. I wonder, there must be some fairly established RPGs out there that just say, you know what, forget this whole 1st through 4th level. We get it. You don't want to be, churning your way through the whole time. Just start with some cool stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally buy into the whole idea of, multiple levels of being able to play without any kind of excuse or anything like that. Like, for example, one of the designs that I've been working on that's sort of in the backlog right now is you start out, you're either pulp level, heroic level, or super heroic level, and you just pick which one you want to play at, and that's the one you're playing at. So if you want to start out in the beginning where it's hard and it's hard to get ahead and you're fighting over little stuff at that point, then start in the pulp era. But if you want to be heroic, then start in the heroic era. I mean, it's no fun to play either one. Like, I can tell you, we've stopped campaigns because our characters got too powerful and it just wasn't as fun anymore.
Yeah, that's a balance, isn't it? You got to figure out where to draw that balance. I guess they're deciding to balance it by starting you at 10th level. So which I get it. You're fighting the hordes of hell. You don't expect them to be sending a bunch of rats for you to kill.
I mean, dude,
just two hit points.
Just open the monster manual. Look at the first level demon. Yeah. 5th level characters.
Yeah. So
I guess if you got enough of them.
That's cool of them to do it this way. I like it.
Yep. Anyway, so that looks interesting. I would say check it out.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. You got to give Paizo credit. They are not slowing down. Whatever's going on in the world of, I don't know who's winning which sales war or whatever, they know what they're doing. They're going down that path. No pun intended. And you know what? I'll intend the pun. Don't be a coward. Intend your puns. Right. And they're doing a great job with it. This looks really cool. I'll forgive them the fact that we have different aesthetic tastes about what graphic design should look like, because the game looks awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Before we wrap up, let's talk about ModCon really quickly. We are getting closer and closer to the date. We are 13 days away, lucky 13 days away. Mm-hmm. It is on May 30th, which is a Saturday in Northampton. I want to say thank you to all the folks that have been helping us get the word out. So specifically to Brian Larkin from Arcane Sword, Arcane Con. He's been telling folks about it. I forgot the name of the coffee shop. There's a game store and coffee shop up in Northampton. It's been really great. I'm going to get their name here before I get it wrong. I sent it to you. Oh, well, whatever. The point is, they've been great to us, and so have some of the game stores. So we've got a pretty good group of people that are coming. Nice attendance figures. It's looking like already. Tons of games to be played. It's cheap. It's only $25. There are still some slots open if you want to be a player. So go to modcon.games and get your ticket. Sign up. Come out for the day. And we do have t-shirts that are for sale now. If you go to the modcon.games, there's a link to the t-shirt shop.
Yeah. Oh, and before we go, I just want to make a call out to the Patreon, because this month we're starting something new. I spent the last year or so, a little over a year, building it up and everything. And then, I took April off and reformatted a bunch of stuff and, went back and looked at the things I was putting out and how I could make them better. And also looking at the numbers of what people were downloading and what they were interested in, and focusing on that, because what's the point of having it if people don't love what you're making? So I'm like, they want, it looks like they want more stuff for adventures, like not just like organizations that you could make adventures with, but the actual thing. So this month I've made an adventure. It's a short one. It's only like 6 pages, and then a map, and then some minions to fight. And that one is actually it's a little bit right now. It does involve the hantavirus, but it's there's a bunch of terrorists who have kidnapped scientists, and this takes place down in Mexico. And they've taken them to a cartel base, so like a cartel place, deep in the woods, and they converted the lab where they were making drugs into a lab where they can do gain of function on this hantavirus, because they want to infect a bunch of people and send them over the border and like mess with America. So it's a fun little adventure. I think it's cool. A short one. Probably run it.
It's on the Patreon.
Yeah,
it will be.
It will be by the end of this, by next week.
Okay, and sometimes 6 pages is all you need, really.
Yeah, it's I'm embracing that whole open thing. It's basically written as this is what the bad guys are going to do, and I've now broken it into acts. So I actually write up the act. In this act, this happens, and and I put a little thing down there. If your characters did this, then they can do that, and if they didn't, then this is how it affects them. You can always move on because what's the point? But like, do you move on with a bonus or with a negative? And that's how I write them.
Beautiful.
So it's yeah. So I'm reformatting everything. I think it's going to be much more elegant. I think people are going to like what I've been doing with the stuff more now moving forward. So anyway, see you in about a week.
Awesome. Love it. So join the Patreon and get that as a download. And if you are a Patreon patron, I don't know what they're called, then you also have access to our after party. So we will be over there on the Discord in a few minutes. I'm going to go make a drink because I finished my beer and I don't have to drive tonight, so it's okay. Right. And we will see you there in like 10 minutes.
All right. See y'all.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.